A theme that we talk a lot about on this show is, online discourse in our new day and age and how people are trying to address it on a number of levels. And one of the levels, what people are doing is they're calling for places like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube to decide what is and isn't free speech. They should oversee their platform and decide what speech is valid, what is real news, what isn't real news. And these are entities that are completely unqualified to do that. Facebook has no business deciding what is and isn't real news, deciding what is and isn't free speech. Same with YouTube, same with Twitter, same with like it's just not in their wheelhouse. They're just not qualified to do that. Who is qualified to do that? Well, constitutional lawyers, free speech professionals. That's who. So the solution for all this is that things like Twitter and Facebook need to be made public utilities with public oversight, just like a real physical town square, where free speech laws apply and contemporary standards apply. And sometimes someone really nails that theme in a way where you're like, damn, I wish I wrote that. And that happened this morning over on the Twitter. And this is from Evan Greer. Now, full disclaimer, Evan Greer is a musician. She's great. You should check out her album, her newest album. It's She, Her, They, Them. Fantastic album. But also, she's the deputy director of Fight for the Future. I'm a big fan of Fight for the Future. I've collaborated with Fight for the Future on a net neutrality campaign and on a banned facial recognition campaign. So I'm friends with Fight for the Future. I think very highly of them. I've been a fan of their organization for years. I was thrilled at the idea of collaborating with them, and I hope to collaborate with them again in the future. So just letting you know, that's where I'm coming from. And of course, I know Evan, but man, she nailed it. Check this out. I've come to realize that people and organizations who have never faced any form of state repression for their activism, i.e. infiltration, violence, raids, arrests, etc., are much more likely to call for censorship and surveillance as solutions to societal problems. And solutions is, of course, in quotes. I guess once you've had the FBI knock on your door, or had your political prisoner support fundraiser kicked off PayPal, or seen nonviolent activists charged with terrorism based solely on their speech, you become a lot less trusting of institutions and leery of giving them more power. There are more and more people who consider themselves progressives or even leftists who are calling for things like more funding for the FBI as a response to white supremacist violence, or who want Facebook and Twitter to engage in more aggressive censorship moderation. On a deeply personal level, I will never understand the implicit trust in authoritarian structures required to hold these positions. Man, she nailed it. She nailed it. God, I wish I wrote that. I'm a little envious. She nailed it. I mean, this should be on a plaque somewhere. This should be required reading in any media literacy. Just this Twitter thread right here, which she could have given as a speech. It would have been a great one. So next time you hear somebody calling for, Liz Warren did it recently, as a matter of fact. Next time you hear somebody calling for, well, Twitter needs to oversee their platforms, and they need to boot people, and they need to do this, and they need to oversee speech. A lot of times when people parrot those ideas, they don't realize what they're actually saying. At least I believe that to be the case. I think sometimes they do. I think a lot of times they don't realize what they're actually calling for. So please refer them to this Twitter thread. And again, that's Evan Greer on Twitter. That's at Evan_Greer, Greer. She's a fantastic musician and doing great work with Fight for the Future. And man, that nails it. That thread just nails it. And she put it better than I could ever hope to be able to. So I'm sharing that. Sometimes you're just like, yeah, they nailed it. That's the best way that could possibly be put. She nailed it. So, yeah. Next time you hear something, we need censorship that's imposed by Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. You just go, no, read this thread. Just read it. Just read it. Or whenever you see someone like, we're the resistance, baby. The FBI is our friend. And read this thread. Please, just read this thread. But Trump's a bad guy. Yes, he is a bad guy. That doesn't mean the FBI are the good guys. Read this thread. All right. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you wanna know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you wanna know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your